Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2024 Honda Pilot, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt Trailer Hitch Receiver. Before we do that though, let's just take a minute, check this out, and make sure it's going to work for you. So when it comes to the Honda Pilot, you know, they're awesome SUVs, they're really versatile, and personally I had one a few years ago. It was an older model, but I know how I used it. I pulled trailers, used accessories, and did a little bit of everything. So if that's what you're trying to do, a trailer hitch makes sense. You know, it's going to allow you to get all those different types of tasks done. Right off the bat, I do want to address one of the main questions a lot of people wonder when it comes to putting a hitch on the Pilot, and that is a hitch going to interfere with the hands-free liftgate assist feature? And unfortunately today our model doesn't come equipped with that feature, so I can't show you, but I know from prior experience that it's not going to. You know, as long as you kick your foot to either side of that receiver tube opening, the hatch will open up like it should. One of the best things about this hitch, in my opinion, is the way it's going to look. So for the most part, it's going to be completely hidden. You know, you're really just going to be able to see the receiver tube opening, and looks like a factory type option. You know, don't look out of place or anything like that. Compared to the other hitch available, it's an eTrailer one. I'll be honest with you, they're extremely similar. The main difference is just going to be the finish of it. The eTrailer has a matte black carbide finish. Honestly, if it were me and I had to pick from the two, I would probably go with the eTrailer one, and I say it because with that it's almost going to match the plastic on the bumper, almost spot on, but that's just my opinion. You know, either one will work fine. And the hitch is going to have a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, which is a good thing. It's a super common size, so a lot of stuff will work with it. It's going to use that standard 5/8 pin and clip. Keep in mind though, pin and clip doesn't come included with the hitch. If you need one, not a huge deal. You can always grab it here at eTrailer. A lot of times too, if you end up buying a new accessory, they'll come with one. So something to look out for there. And as far as the safety chain openings go, they're going to be a loop style, easy to get to, and large enough to allow you to use just about any size hook that your trailer might have on it. As far as the hitch's weight capacities go, it's going to have some really good numbers. Maximum gross tongue weight rating is going to be 900 pounds, and that's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. So that's more than enough for pretty much any size bike rack or cargo carrier, just to give you an example. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 6,000 pounds, and that's the amount of weight pulling on the hitch. So the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have in or on it. This can be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. What happens when you use that, it's going to keep your Pilot and your trailer level whenever you're towing it down the road. Pretty popular on campers, enclosed trailers, things of that nature. So if that's what you're going to be hauling, might be worth looking into. But even when you use that weight distribution, the tongue weight rating will remain the same at 900, but you'll get a little more out of the trailer weight rating. That'll go up to 8,000 pounds. Now with all that in mind, it is always a good idea just to grab your Honda's owner's manual. That way you can check in there and make sure that your Pilot can handle that amount of weight safely. We'll grab a couple measurements now, and these will help us figure out what type of accessories are going to work best. So if you go from the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, and I'm taking into account the lift that we're parked on, that's going to be about 15 inches. So for those of you pulling a trailer around, you can probably use a ball mount that has a straight shank, work in most situations. And if you're using an accessory, if it has a straight shank, I think you'd be good there. If it has a shank with a rise in it, even better, get you a little more ground clearance. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of our rear bumper, that's going to be about 4.5 inches, which is pretty good. So you shouldn't run into too many issues here, but if need be, you can use that to help figure out exactly if any of those folding type accessories you might have can be stored upright without hitting the back of your Pilot. We do get a lot of questions in regards to if you're going to be able to keep your spare tire. You know, is a hitch going to get in the way and stop you from doing that? And the spare will go back up into place, really with one exception, and that is if you happen to have a full-size spare tire. Here's how ours looks, and if yours looks the same, You'll be able to raise this right back up into position. And if you still just want to double check just to be absolutely certain, there's a number where the tire size is listed on the sidewall of the spare tire that you can check. And as long as that number is the last number, the diameter is 18 or below, you'll be able to get that tire back up into position. It looks good, and it's going to be able to handle just about anything you want to throw at it. So can't really ask for too much more. As far as the installation goes, really straightforward on this vehicle. Temporarily let that spare down to give you some room to work. And the hitch more or less just bolts up into place. It is pretty heavy though. It's a stout hitch, so if you got a friend that can help you out, you know, just lifting it up in place, that'll really go a long way. But it is doable by yourself. A lot of people have done it. I have before, but you get a little workout trying to hold it up and everything. But take your time. Should be in good shape. And with that said, why don't we go ahead and get started on it now. To begin our installation, the very first thing that we need to do is temporarily lower and remove the spare tire. Just gives us a lot more room to work. And so open up the hatch. I grabbed our spare tire tool out of the little compartment over here. It's just stuffed down in there. And just move this out of her way here. We'll have this little panel in here. Open that up, remove this little plug, and that'll let us take our tool and lower the spare tire down. With the spare tire out of the way, we can move underneath the vehicle, and we're going to be working on each one of our frame rails. And from this point on, whatever we do to one side of the vehicle, we'll also do to the other side, because it's going to be set up the same way. But on the bottom of our frame, what I like to do is just kind of wipe everything clean, you know. And for our attachment points, we're going to have a total of 3 on each side. So this one, and this one. And with these, I like to spray some penetrating oil in them. And just take a tube brush and work it back and forth just to clean out any potential grime or debris that might be inside. As far as the hardware combination goes, it's going to be the same combo for all the attachment points. You're just going to have a bolt and a conical tooth washer. When you put the washer on, make sure that the teeth on the washer are going to face up towards the hitch. So the way this will work, we'll put our hitch up, line up the holes in it with our attachment points, and these bolts are simply just going to thread right into the frame. At this point, if you can have someone give you a hand with this part, it makes it much easier. But we're just going to raise the hitch into position. We'll take the hardware that we talked about and get them all started hand tight. To get all the hardware in place and hand tight, you can center the hitch, which I just checked ours were good, because you can slide the hitch from side to side a little bit, and I just split the difference, you know, try to have the same amount of frame rail overhanging on each end of the hitch there. So we're good there. And now we can come back with a 22 millimeter socket and snug everything down. Now we need to make sure and come back with a torque wrench and tighten down all the hardware to the amount specified in our instructions. With the hitch torque down, we can get our spare tire back into position. And once you start getting kind of close, you will have to kind of angle it up a little bit while you're cranking to get it to clear the back side of our hitch there. But once it does that, it goes right into position without any issues. I got everything put back together on the inside of our Pilot. We can close up the hatch, and that's really all there is to it. So that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2024 Honda Pilot.